So instruct is the same way like you going to be working about, it's like about grouping in a simple term, grouping. So before you were used to declare, when you declare your variables, you will say maybe int, inside the int main function you will say int maybe number, then after that you will have, for example, maybe let me just use something which makes sense, int age, then after that we will say maybe float float salary, then after float salary you will have a string name. So all these data variables that you are declaring, you are declaring things of different data type, and when you are declaring things of also different data types, whereby you can access them when you're using your int main, so you never have a problem with that. So now when we come to a structure, as I said, is for you like it's like in terms of a grouping your data. It's like you can take it as like you are grouping your data types that you're going to be using in your functions. So in this thing here for structure, there we have things like before, if you know, we talked about, not like for other guys here, if you, because the others you are not attending the WACOS 1512, we have things about the object. So now everything that have an object, which means there is an action, something must happen after. So if the same way you know an object when you are using English is still the same way you can apply it here in this programming for computer science, the definition, it means exactly the same thing. So now we're gonna go straight to the structure of a struct. A struct, when you write it, okay, what's wrong with my laptop? If you have a problem with my network, just let me know. Do you guys have problem or you are fine? Because I'm using different network now.
We are fine, so we can hear you.
It's very perfect, right? Okay, thank you for confirmation. So I'm gonna write what you'll always know, hash include iostream. Hash include iostream using namespace std. So now when you are creating a struct, your structure, a struct is like a structure, the way as we say structure, you will write struct like this, then you write the name. Your struct must have a name, so you must write the name of your struct. So let's say, for example, you are going to be working in a struct whereby you are going to be recording, what can we say? Let me see. You want to record, for example, I will give you 2 examples. Let's say you want to record about your account. Maybe it's like for salary, you want to calculate how much you pay per month for your income. So we're just gonna name it account like that. So when you enter, you must have a braces, and your braces at the end, it must have a semicolon. This semicolon, it closes, like, because a struct is like it's not like a function whereby you say while loop. No, you must close. You must close it. So it's very important to know that at the end of your structure you must close it, because they can test you based on that in C++ course 1511. They can just give you structure, because they know many students, when it comes to these chapters, they don't study them properly. So they can give you a very simple question so that they know, see if you understand about the classes. So now when you have a structure like that, your structure, it must have like members inside. When I say members, you must have variables that you are declaring. For example, I know that, okay, if I'm working with an account, the first thing I might have, okay, let's say for example, if it's my bank account, I will have a balance, money inside my bank account. I can just write it balance. Then what is the data type of this balance? It can be float, but normally you know that money is in terms of two double numbers at the end, so you can also use double balance. So after that, if I have double balance in your bank, what happens? You can have a balance, and then maybe if it's an investment account, you will have an interest that you're going to be gaining. So the interest rate, you can name it also float. Let me just use float interest. I will just use I the way you use in your mathematics for financing. And then if I'm in an investment, which means I can be in investment for 5 years or 3 years or 2 years, depending on the length of the investment. So I can say number of years, I can put it N for the number of years. So now I have created my structure. I know that, okay, in my structure, I wanted to accumulate I want to find the balance that I will be having after 3 years or after 2 years. In this question, I can use many method. So when I say I can use many method, I can decide to use a function. You remember in university or high school, you used to use a compound interest formula whereby A equals to P in brackets 1 plus I to the power n. I to the power n. So this is the formula that we normally use sometimes for compound interest or simple interest. So I can create functions that I want my program, like I want to calculate how much I will be having after maybe certain number of years. So when I create functions, I can also remember, because here we are programming, I'm not doing it for myself. I might want to ask the user the details of the amount in the bank. And I might want to ask a user also the amount that is there, the interest rate that the person is paying in the bank, everything. It depends on the question. So if I'm not doing it for myself, which means I'm doing it for a user, I must have an output. So in order for me to do that, I can write a function. When I say writing a function, I can write a function whereby it can get a data in the user. Sometimes instead of writing a functions to get a data, I can declare them here. So I can start with showing you how to declare them here, and then also how to write a function to get the data of this data. So I'm gonna name my function void get data. So in my void get data there, remember now we are working with what? We are working with a structure. It's no longer the same way that we were doing there when we were working with just a function. We say int x. There is no more int x now, int y inside it. Now we are working with a structure, and in this structure, if we have to call this variable which are inside this structure, we have to call